Yo, what is up guys, your boy IzuKage here with the finale for What If Naruto Was a Seal Master. I really enjoyed this series, and since it's coming to a close, leave in the comments more What If Naruto ideas. I already have one planned for when I finish this, but when I finish Suna no Mi Deku, I'll choose an idea from the comments. So if you always wanted to see an idea, maybe I'll choose it. Now with that out of the way, let's just get right into the what if.
Talk to me next. Look, hurt, dirty, hurt, crazy. Big body Benz, I got you. Scope on the kick in the head like a Mac. I can't fuck with these hoes, these bitches is true. I'm married to this, got niggas attack.
So where we last left off, Naruto brought some of the injured to the hospital, and now it's time to find a healer. Naruto goes to the Hokage's office where he sees Hiruzen talking to Kakashi, but they turn around to look at him, and Hiruzen says, "Naruto, what brings you here?" And Naruto says, "Lord Hokage, we need a healer in the village, and I think you know who's best to choose." Hiruzen sat back in his chair and said, "Tsunade, but she's long gone. Not even Kakashi's ninja hounds could find her." Naruto said, "Yes, I know, but with my clones, I think we might have a chance." Hiruzen ponders for a moment and says, "What do you think, Kakashi?" And he says, "Well, if there's a chance to save lives, I say take it." Hiruzen said, "Well, there's your answer, but be safe. Jiraiya's on a separate mission and Kakashi's helping with the rebuilding efforts in the village." Naruto smiles and says, "I won't let you down," and he runs out of the office before Hiruzen could even write up the official mission. So Naruto runs home, gathers foods and all the other essentials for the mission, then makes 7 clones. 2 take the north gate, 2 take the south gate, 2 east, and the main Naruto and a clone take the west gate. So they all go off to find Tsunade, and Naruto is searching every town, every shop, asking for information with a picture of her to show people if they would see her. So back at the village, Sasuke regained consciousness in the hospital. He suddenly woke up and looked around, seeing people in the same condition he's in. And Sasuke feels a stinging pain in his side as he tries getting up. So he's holding onto the walls to make sure he doesn't fall down, and he goes towards the main hallway of the hospital, but down the hallway 2 red eyes stare back at him, sending shivers down his spine, and from the shadows came a man dressed in black robes with red clouds on it. And this man is Itachi Uchiha. Sasuke's eyes widen. No, it can't be. Why did he have to show up now when he's like this? Itachi came closer and said, "Need help, little brother?" And Sasuke shot back, "You're no brother of mine." And he let go of the wall and started breathing heavily out of exhaustion. Sasuke weaved hand signs and crouched down, pointing his hands toward the ground and said, "Chidori." Sasuke swung his arm up and ran towards Itachi, destroying the wall behind him, and he closed the distance and shoved it right through Itachi. But he burst into clones, and the hospital hallways turned into a dark void. No matter where he turned, all Sasuke saw was an expanse of darkness. He was kicked in the back, but when he turned around, still he saw nothing. Sasuke began to get scared, and he took out a kunai, swinging wildly in every direction, trying to hit something, anything. Then Sasuke got kicked again, got pinned to the ground. This broke the genjutsu, and Sasuke saw a blue-looking guy holding him down with his sword. Then Itachi gripped Sasuke by the shirt and threw him against the wall and said, "Where is Naruto?" Sasuke was confused. What does Itachi want with Naruto? But he said, "I don't know, he left the village." And Itachi brought Sasuke closer and slammed him again in the wall. And he said, "Don't let me have to jog your memory, little brother." But Kisame said, "Yo, Itachi, someone's coming, let's go." Itachi said, "What?" Kisame said, "Remember, this is supposed to be a stealth mission. No one's supposed to know we're here." Itachi tisked and said, "Alright, until next time, Sasuke." And he dropped him. The 2 body flickered away, and it was Kakashi who was walking up to check on Sasuke, but he saw him bloodied on the wall and he ran up saying, "Sasuke, are you okay?" But he didn't respond. He was breathing heavily, and Kakashi quickly called the medical ninja and they dealt with it. So back with Naruto, it's been 2.5 weeks and he has no lead. So Naruto went to chill in a bar. Yes, he's underage, but ninja world, so kids get drunk. So Naruto sits down at a stool and asks the bartender to serve him their best drink. While Naruto is waiting, he looks over to his left and sees a lady in the corner playing cards with some guy, and she's obviously drunk. But Naruto didn't really care and he went back to waiting for his drink, but his head snapped back like he just saw someone he recognized. He pulled out the picture he had of Tsunade and the same hair color, same hairstyle, same clothes, even the same size luck, because she just lost the card game and handed the guy a bag containing 1000 Ryo. Tsunade took another shot and started rambling about her bad luck. So Naruto walked over to her and sat down across the table next to Shizune, who said, "Can I help you?" Then she saw the leaf headband on Naruto's forehead and some of his hair was colored red, so maybe Uzumaki, but why is it blonde and red? Anyways, Tsunade says, "Some Leaf Village brat, what do you want, kid?" And Naruto said, "The village was attacked and many were injured, we need you, Tsunade." And she folded her arms and says, "What's in it for me?" And Naruto thought for a second and remembered the money he got from collecting some bounties from the Land of Waves, and said, "How does 600,000 Ryo sound?" Hearing this, Tsunade's ears perked up. 600k? You say, now you're speaking my language. Tsunade said, "Sure, but what happened anyways?" So Naruto started explaining the whole village attack and how he and Hiruzen fought Orochimaru, who reincarnated the first and second Hokage. And at that point, Tsunade had to slow Naruto down, like, "Bro, stop the cap. You beat the first, second Hokage and Orochimaru." And she started laughing, but Naruto was straight face. Like, this was the best poker face Tsunade has ever seen. And Tsunade's like, okay, he's actually serious. So they had a bit more banter, then Naruto got them an inn to stay the night and returned to the village a day later. On the way to the village, they had no issue, just stopped to eat a few things and they made it. So back with Itachi and Kisame. They were scouting out nearby areas to find Naruto but came up empty-handed, but when they returned to the village to see if Naruto came back, they saw him walking with Tsunade, Shizune, and is that a pig? Anyways, it's not important. Kisame and Itachi were perched up in a tree and Kisame said, "What now? Pain told us to get him while he was off guard because he's some seal master or something. If he has some of those higher rank seals, we might stand no chance." Itachi was annoyed but happy to see the Leaf had some strong yet young ninjas in their ranks. So Itachi stood up and said, "Let's just go, we have time on our side." And Kisame nodded and they jumped off. So Tsunade works her magic and heals up all that were injured, so now we move on to the time skip. During this time, Tsunade decided to stay in the village. Her time there showed her why she loved it in the first place. And a year later, when Hiruzen retired, she was appointed Hokage, a role she was actually happy to get. She can live out her brother and husband's dream. So Naruto during this time took on a pupil, Sasuke. After being completely useless, aka being a Sakura during the entire invasion, Sasuke recognized how strong Naruto was and that his brother cared about Naruto more than he did himself. Just cemented that fact. And trust me, Sasuke is angry but only at himself. Naruto didn't make him weak, Itachi didn't make him weak, the village didn't make him weak. He's just weak. So Sasuke humbled himself and asked Naruto to train him, which he had no issue agreeing to. And for 2 years they trained together. Naruto showed Sasuke some of the jutsu Jiraiya taught him, like toad summoning and shuriken shadow clone. Yes, I know we don't actually see Jiraiya use it, but Hiruzen is his master, so it's likely he does know it. So now on to Naruto personally. Two major things Naruto learned. He completed the Rasengan, meaning he can add different chakra natures to it. And Naruto has a beta version of Dark Release Seal, like the thing he's been planning this entire time. But the thing with it is if he absorbs a powerful jutsu, it can have some minor consequences like, let me think, death. So apart from that, everything's been progressing like canon, and what I mean by that is Sakura learns from Tsunade, Lee is getting back on his feet, and so on. So we get to the end of the time skip, and this is around when canon Naruto would arrive in the village. So Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura return from a A-rank mission to collect intelligence on the village hidden in the rain. They successfully did this and got the scroll they were looking for and returned to Tsunade's office. When they walk in, they see a ninja with a messenger bird talking to Tsunade, and when she sees the three, she tells that same ninja that she could go. She has everything under control. So the three walk in and Tsunade says she regrets doing this, but she has a mission for them and the IzuKage has been captured. Sakura was the most shocked, but Naruto and Sasuke know about the Akatsuki, so Tsunade says this is a double S-rank mission. I'd feel more comfortable sending an Anbu, but I know you all can do it, especially you, Naruto. Naruto smiles and said, hey, Sasuke has been training hard too, he might catch up. And Sasuke says, sure. So they had a quick laugh and then Naruto continued. If I remember, I placed a tag on Gaara years ago, but it should still be working. And Tsunade was surprised, but she expected nothing less from the 4th Hokage's son. So Naruto tells his team to get ready, cause they're teleporting to the enemies directly. So Sasuke activates his 3 Tomoe, Sakura pulls on her gloves like, what's that gonna do? Okay, I should start roasting Sakura, so yeah, she's trying at least. And Naruto starts forming his Rasengan. So they all hold on to Naruto and they disappear from Tsunade's office. Tsunade took a sigh of relief and from the door next to her office, you hear a voice saying, are they gone? And Tsunade said, yes, you know you didn't have to hide. And Jiraiya peeked through the door and then opened it fully. He said, well, I just wanted to check up on you. And Tsunade got up and said, are you sure that's the only thing? Rubbing her hands along his chest, and a little blood started dripping from Jiraiya's nose, and he was ready to do some in-depth research for the next book. Back with Team 7, they appeared in the sky above Deidara's bird, and Naruto did the iconic Minato spin, slamming a wind-infused Rasengan into Deidara and the bird. Sasuke landed and his eyes started bleeding as the pattern of the mud appeared. The arms of a skeletal Susanoo formed around him and grabbed Gaara's body as it was falling out of the sky. So Deidara's body turned into clay, but both it and the clay bird were pulverized by the Rasengan. Naruto landed and he said in his mind, ugh, they got away. So he turned to see Sasuke holding his eyes in pain and Sakura healing him. Naruto walked up to Sasuke and said, what did I say? Don't use it. We used a genjutsu for you to unlock it, so it's not perfect. But he sees that he used it to save Gaara from a pretty high fall, so he just said, good job. So he picked up Gaara's body and Sasuke and Sakura started following Naruto back to the Sand Village. While walking to the village, Sasuke says, don't you have a tag there or something? This desert is killing me. Naruto said, no, I've never been there, and Sasuke and Sakura groaned at the long journey ahead. While walking back, the group got trapped in a sandstorm, so Sakura used Earth Release and made a large Earth Dome. From outside the dome, Sasori is walking back to base and he sees this rock formation, wondering what it is, but he's more focused on getting out of the storm, so he pays it no mind. A full day goes by and the storm finally dissipates, allowing Team 7 to continue their journey. So they make it to the Sand Village, and at first the guards were on high alert, but when they saw the IzuKage safe, they rejoiced. Gaara was taken to the hospital where Sakura helped to nurse him and Kankuro, who still had a run-in with Sasori, back to health. The Sand Elders couldn't thank Team 7 enough, but Naruto said it was no problem, and this started to change the opinions of the elders to the Leaf Village. They aren't so bad after all, except for that damn White Fang. Just imagine old Lady Chio shaking her fist in anger. But anyways, Team 7's mission is done, so they head to the entrance of the gate. Naruto touches the ground, placing a seal just in case he needs to come back, and says, "Alright, let's go." And his teammates hold on to him and they teleport back to Tsunade's office. When they get there, they see Jiraiya and Tsunade kissing. Their eyes widen and shout, "What?" And Jiraiya jumped in surprise and he said, "Don't you guys knock?" And they started, Team 7 starts covering their eyes and says, "Just call us when you're finished." So 10 minutes later, Team 7 returns to Tsunade's office and get their reward for both missions, as in the A rank mission from the start and the double S rank mission for the whole Gar retrieval. So after that, the team returns home and has some R&R between missions. Sasuke and Sakura have gotten a lot more friendly, while most of his time Naruto just spends on his own. Naruto got that feeling one day while reading a scroll. He's just been alone his entire life, and for most people living a life that he is, this is sad. And yeah, learning all these jutsus are cool, but what about his goal of rebuilding his clan? Having a huge family to take care of. What's the use of these jutsus if you can't use it to protect the ones you love? So Naruto gets up and looks out the backyard and sighs. Is this really the life he chose? He's thinking to himself. But before Naruto could answer this question, Sasuke started breaking down his door, as in just knocking really loudly to get his attention. So Naruto answers the door and Sasuke says some Chunies found one of Orochimaru's spies. Naruto puts on his Jonin vest to go out and see what's up, and when he gets there, they see a red-haired girl chained up, Karin. Naruto sees all the bite marks all over her arms and legs, and at first he thought she was just really freaky, if you catch my drift, but Naruto actually remembers that that was an ability of the Uzumaki clan to heal those that bite them. So Naruto said, "Don't worry, I'll take her to the Hokage." And one of the Chunin volunteered to help him out, but Naruto was adamant that he was fine with taking her by himself. So while walking, Karin recognizes Naruto from his unique hair, blonde with red mixed in. And Naruto had her walk in front of him and he said, "Aren't you that girl from years ago and the one that helped me?" And Karin said, "Well, what if I am?" And Naruto sighed and said, You're not gonna make it easy for me, are you?" But Karin didn't even respond to that one either, so Naruto just brought her to Ibiki not to probe her mind, just to keep her imprisoned for a while. So Naruto was honestly simping for Karin, let's not get it twisted. I mean, what are the odds an Uzumaki would show up? It seems so convenient. Too convenient. And Naruto said, I'm looking at you, writer of this story. You couldn't have made it a bit more realistic? Hey, I'm trying my best here. And Naruto just smiles and says, well, at least it benefits me. Now let's switch perspectives real quick to Pain and the other members of the Akatsuki. He said, now we have to change our plans thanks to Sasori and Deidara. We lost an important Jinchuriki, now we have to resort to plan B. Utter annihilation. Deidara, Sasori, Kakuzu, bring the Sand Village down. I want it completely destroyed. Deidara said, well, what about everyone else? Pain's eyes connected with Deidara's and said, you're the only ones in the group who haven't captured your assigned Jinchuriki. But if you must know, I have Zetsu watching the Nine Tails, and if and when he leaves the village, I attack in full force. Meanwhile, Itachi and Kisame will take care of the Eight Tails, Tobi and Hidan the 7th. And after they're all captured, we can start the extraction process. So they go through with the plan. First, the Sand Village. Above the sand, too high for anyone to see, Deidara is riding on his bird, preparing a massive explosion. his C4 Garda. Just imagine the bomb he used the first time in the Sand Village against Gaara, but just a small 10 times stronger. So it took a while for it to form, but it was a small statue and he dropped it over the Sand Village. It grew in size as it got closer and closer to the ground, and people started screaming in fear and panic. Gaara, who was recovering, looked outside and see this massive bomb, and involuntarily his sand covers his whole body into a dense layer of sand all around it, and the bomb goes off. The strength of it parts the clouds above the village, and when the smoke cleared, it was nothing but a rubble, a ruined city. Toby calmly onto Datara's bird and said, "Don't you think that went too far? We need him alive, you know." And Datara said, "Shikaku wouldn't let his Jinchuriki die, that selfish raccoon." So they checked the area, and like planned, Gaara's defense held up and he was just unconscious. Back in the Leaf, it was an emergency at the Hokage's office. All communications with the Sand ceased. Either they were planning to start a war or they've been invaded, and quickly at that. So since the Leaf and Sand are allies, war is really unlikely. So Tsunade called in the fastest person she knows to be able to check it out, Naruto. She told him to go just for a second, see what's up, come back and tell them the state that the Sand is in. So Naruto teleported to his mark that he left a few days ago, and when he did, he was standing on a fallen building and Naruto was confused. He started looking around and saw nothing. The Hokage mansion was gone, everything, residential areas, it was all completely destroyed. Naruto went back to the Leaf and told Tsunade what he saw, and she didn't think it would be that bad, but her nightmares are coming true. But while they were discussing this, a loud boom could be heard from the center of the village. Naruto went to look outside the window, but a huge dust cloud came in and broke the window, sending everyone in the room flying back. Naruto got up to check if Tsunade and Shizune were okay, and he teleported to his house to gather his things, but it was gone, completely leveled. The village was now a huge crater, and Naruto looked up to see a man wearing an Akatsuki robe floating over the village. Naruto focused back to his surroundings and saw people on the ground, trapped on the rubble, injured and some dead. This angered Naruto, and he made 4 clones and they went around Pain and made a huge barrier. Pain floated down and Naruto, with tears in his eyes, ran at him. Pain said, "Now you know true pain." And he said, "Almighty push." Naruto was flung back into the barrier wall and he got up breathing heavily and said, I won't lose." And he threw a kunai at Pain, but again he said, "Almighty push." And the kunai bounced back. With that, Pain rushed Naruto with a chakra rod and they started a taijutsu bout. Naruto made more clones and tried overpowering Pain. He snuck up behind him using a Rasen Shuriken in hand, but Pain used Almighty Push again. Now Naruto started to get an idea of the intervals between his abilities. Meanwhile, on the outside of the barrier, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi, who returned from his mission, started taking down the other paths of Pain, one by one, with Sasuke having to push his Mangekyo to make the half-skeletal Susanoo and use Amaterasu. So back in the barrier, Naruto made another wave of clones to attack Pain, and when he used Almighty Push again, Naruto did Lightning Stream. This sent hundreds of bolts of lightning coursing through Pain's body. When Pain was knocked over, the remaining clones piled onto his body trying to touch him, and one did, before Pain sent them all flying back, poofing. Pain was getting annoyed and he says, "No matter how much you try, you'll lose." But Pain started feeling weak and Naruto felt even stronger. He rushed Pain quickly, kicking him in the chest and placed a level 5 gravity seal on him, restricting his movements even more. What Naruto was doing is siphoning Nagoto's chakra and sealing it within himself, making him simultaneously faster and stronger. So Naruto lowered the barrier now that Pain was basically immobile, but then he had to take care of the other paths, the animal path especially, which was causing the most damage. So Naruto sent out clones to take care of that while he went to find the true body that he learned about from Jiraiya's research into the Akatsuki. So while he was running over, speak of the devil, Jiraiya ran alongside Naruto and Naruto briefed him on the entire situation. And when Naruto mentioned Rinnegan, the only ninja he knows that has that is Nagoto. So Naruto's sensory ability led them to a cave where he confronted Nagoto and Konan. Jiraiya, seeing the two, almost broke down to see the kids he brought up go down this path. So Nagoto started to going on his speech about how this was the only true road to peace. But they both started pointing out all the flaws in his quote-unquote flawless plan. And half an hour later, Nagoto wanted to repent, and the only way he knew how to was to use the Rene rebirth. So he did, restoring all the lives he took in place of his own, and Jiraiya shed a single tear. After this, the Akatsuki disbanded because without a leader and Kisame and Itachi losing to Raikage A and Killer B, there's really no point. So Gaara lived but turned to the Leaf Village for a safe place to stay because he literally has nowhere to go. And he also helped with the rebuilding efforts. But Black Zetsu is still out there trying to bring back Kaguya. So 3-year time skip, and Naruto is having his first child. His name is Boruto, with the Karin. During the whole rebuilding process, Naruto had a section added to the leaf for the new era of the Uzumaki clan. Now with everyone in the village knowing about Naruto's true heritage, they wanted Naruto to be the next Hokage, so in time, he became the successor to Tsunade, the 6th Hokage. But the threat of the Otsutsuki still looms over the village as a pair of them are flying towards Earth for revenge. But that is where I'm going to be leaving this whole series off. Thank you guys for sticking around to see the ending. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, tell me in the comments what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, so I can improve in the next coming Naruto What Ifs. So if you liked it, like, and if you like my content in general, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next What If.